I don't like fake shit, I don't condone it. I don't like fake shit, I don't condone it.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's get back to Iraq. But before we do, let's do a little cleanup, shall we? I just want to give everybody a quick reminder. You can go over to Pimpy's News Network. It is free for everybody. Everybody has access to the videos that are on the website. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Miles Franklin. The link will be down below in the description. When you make your purchase, make sure you use promo code PIMPY, P-I-M-P-Y, and they'll take care of you. If you have any additional questions, you can reach us over here at this phone number or over here at this particular email. For all orders over $10,000, reach out by email and we'll make sure that you get a great deal. So come on over to Miles Franklin and add to your precious metal inventory. Okay, first things first, this is not my profile, obviously. This guy's got 113 subscribers and I don't have that name anymore. So just be careful and watch out for fakes, okay? This isn't me. If they're trying to get you to donate some money or give some money or sign up in this program, don't fall for it. All right, congratulations to your bondholders, I guess. So it looks like, what does it say? Member, hoping for big bondholder news. Is that right? Mark Z. I had one bondholder with an appointment this afternoon inform me that he is now under an NDA. Isn't that weird how that always happens? There's no way for you to validate anything. There's no way to get somebody on to validate anything because they're under an NDA. So this gives them carte blanche to sit around and just bullshit you guys all day long. There's no way for them to prove it. You know, if you say to them, oh, you got something, prove it. Show me some pictures. Do something. Anything at all that validates that you're not full of shit. And they can't do it. This is always going to be their excuse. Well, we're under an NDA. The person's under an NDA. They can't talk. Yeah, okay. He did tell me a long time ago that he would not do an NDA unless he walked away with at least a sizable chunk of money. So for me, it feels like something happened. Wow, really? What are the odds of that happening? Hey, the guy would not sign an NDA unless he got a sizable chunk of money. Obviously, he must have got the big payday because he's signing the NDA. My contacts with evening appointments have not returned any of my messages because their appointments are about right now. I hope they have an update by tomorrow morning. Yeah. It's amazing how they have all these contacts and they've been having them for years and nobody's ever stepped forward ever to prove anything that these people say, especially Mark. I do have another friend. You got more than one. That's good to hear. I do have another friend with an appointment on Thursday. He has an enormous amount invested in bonds and I am excited to see how it goes for him. Bonds? What kind of bonds? You don't ever say what kind of bonds you're talking about. What bonds are you talking about? Because there's people out there that's invested in regular bonds. Maybe he does got a friend. He's got a bunch of U.S. savings bonds. His grandma bought it for him when he was little. Now he's old enough, they're matured. Maybe he can cash them in. Is that what you're talking about? What kind of bonds are you talking about? There is quite a bit of news coming out of Iraq this evening. JSCA strategy to transform Iraq into a regional investment center. How can you be a regional investment center with a, let me guess, I don't have it on here, but I'm going to guess, with a low exchange rate? Is that what you're going to try to say? I don't have the bottom part, but it's easy to guess. How can you be a regional investment center with a low exchange rate? That's going to be my guess. If anybody knows what that bottom part is, please let me know. I surely would appreciate it, but it's almost predictable. You know, that's like them saying, how can you join the World Trade Organization with this low of an exchange rate? How can they pass this budget with this low of an exchange rate? How can they complete all these projects with this low of an exchange rate? How can they get on the SWIFT system with this low of an exchange rate? Is this what they always say? And yes, you guys will send me stuff from Ariel from time to time. I do like reading some of his stuff. That doesn't mean I believe it. I just think it's interesting the way he words things. His views, 478.3 thousand views. Now that's ass kicking, man, right there. IQD holders, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow morning and suddenly realized you were a multi-millionaire 3 times over? multi-millionaire 3 times. Isn't that that's kind of redundant. A multi-millionaire is already multiples of millions, but 3 times over. So let's say I'm a multi-millionaire. Let's say I got $10 million in there because I'm a multi-millionaire. But 3 times over, wake up and now there's a $30 million in there. I would love that. Are y'all ready for that type of money? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I would bet any amount of money that everybody out there would be excited to have that kind of money. But as far as ready to have that type of money, no. We've seen what happened to lotto winners. Because at this point, I am expecting the rate change at any moment. Really? Any moment? Well, that doesn't mean he means right this moment. He could mean maybe a year from now, or 3 years from now, or 5 years from now. That's any moment, isn't it? Not being very specific, is he? When you exchange, don't act like you don't know how to log on to X and speak. Because a lot of you all about to start acting bad and bougie. For those of you who don't know, bougie is stuck up. A lot of people don't know that. Anyway, I hope you all bought all you need. The rate release is about a glance away. Well, I don't know. A lot of us have been glancing a whole bunch of times and still the same rate. I mean, this came out on September 22nd, and I'm going to go on a limb and say that most of you probably see at the very minimum the rate at least once a day just to see where it is. So that's a lot of times we're glancing. There's still no action. Securities Commission, a strategy to transform Iraq into a regional investment center. Well, you can't have an investment center with the rate at the rate it is. So the other day, the Securities Commission announced on Tuesday the launch of a new website to promote investment in Iraq. And while referring to the conclusion of an agreement with Egypt to modernize the electronic trading system, it confirmed the development of strategy to transform Iraq into a regional investment center. We launched a new website of authority, the news was told. This event represents a milestone in the development of infrastructure for investment in Iraq. While there are a lot of changes going on in Iraq that we are all aware of, while they're coming out of the Stone Age and modernizing things finally, and again, I brought this up before, there's a reason why they were kept in the Stone Age. It's easy to rip the Iraqi people off, it's easy to commit fraud by the powers that be, and it's really hard to detect. So as they modernize, it's getting easier to catch these criminals, and there is some resistance against it. Because we have come a long way in the security authority to turn this vision into a concrete reality that serves all investors within the framework of the government's plan and under the auspices of the Prime Minister al-Sudani. We are working to transform the Iraqi Stock Exchange into an integrated electronic system, which allows all citizens and investors great opportunities to participate in investment in a safe manner. Interesting thing about the Iraqi Stock Exchange is there really is not a lot of companies listed on there at the moment. That's why it makes it really easy to invest into these companies. And you guys all know I go through the WISE group. For those of you interested in being part of an investment group that buys stock in the Iraqi Stock Exchange, reach out to the WISE group at 850-520-2693. Just let them know that Pimpy sent you. And you guys could take part in the same thing that we are. And we got a lot of money invested into the Iraqi Stock Exchange. Like I was saying, there's not a lot of companies on there. So it makes it really easy to invest heavy in a lot of these smaller companies and get them right on the ground level. So Iraq signed an agreement with Egypt to install a new updated system for the Iraqi Stock Exchange. What it should do is open the doors for investors all over to invest into the Iraqi Stock Exchange, bringing a lot of value to those stocks. People ask me all the time, well, which do you think is a better investment, the Iraqi Dinar or the stocks? The stocks, of course. Well, I think we got in at a really good time because for a while there, the stock exchange wasn't even open to the public. They were having all kinds of issues, but then they were open to the public and we took advantage of that time and jumped in. And so a lot of us got into the stock market at a real good stage. And as it's opened up to the rest of the world, I expect these stocks to really grow in value. Look, I got 5 million Iraqi dinars. You never know. So hold on to however many you got. I would invest more into it, but the stock exchange, we invested a lot of money into that. And I think that has a great opportunity to really grow. As you're aware, Iraq has some issues with protesters charging the U.S. Embassy. I'm glad it has not escalated. Iraq has been doing a great job about staying out of all these little conflicts. We don't want them to get involved in these conflicts. They need to just stay on the straight and narrow. They've been doing a great job of this, so let's hope that continues. This would be good for both the dinar as well as the stocks. So the Kurdistan Regional Government partnering with Baghdad to enhance economic development and attract investors. They keep doing what they're doing, avoiding the conflict, staying out of it as much as possible, squashing anything that starts to flare up. Looks really good for Iraq. Outside investors are more likely to invest if they could see that Iraq means business and they're not getting involved in conflicts, which is exactly what you want to see. The World Bank identifies an important matter to achieve sustainable development in Iraq. So the World Bank confirmed on Wednesday that the Iraqi government has taken steps to develop human capital, while pointing out that the investment of human capital is a fundamental pillar of achieving sustainable development. Yes, it is. What they're talking about is investing into the people, making sure that they get the education that they need, making sure that they gain work experience to help develop the people so they can move together with the developing nation. The representative of the World Bank Group said the first conference for the development of human capital in Iraq is related to supporting Iraqi citizens and its future, pointing out that the investment of Iraqi human capital is a fundamental pillar of achieving sustainable development for all groups. Agreed. He added the timing and focus shown by the Iraqi government in this field will lead to the development of human capital and will proceed at an escalating pace in the coming days. So on Tuesday, the work of the first conference for the development of human capital in Iraq began in the presence of the ministers of planning, health and labor, and a number of members of the House of Representatives. I think what's happened is over the past year and a half, 2 years, well, especially the last year, we've been just receiving good news after good news after good news to the point now where some people are becoming immune to it. So just be careful. Don't get frustrated or start to feel impatient, because every day there's good news. You're like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And I know it's hard when you have people still telling you that, hey, if you wake up in the morning and you are a multi-millionaire 3 times over, or people talking about my contacts with the bonds, those kind of things are misleading. You guys got to ask a whole lot more questions. I already know the answers. Well, my NDA, I can't tell you guys anything. My contact person can't do an interview. My contact person can't share anything with you to prove that what I'm saying is just the legit thing instead of bullshit. But most of you already know that, so when I talk about that, I'm only talking about a very small percentage of my listeners. The other huge percentage already knows. They don't fall for that crap. Anyways, I look forward to hearing what you have to say. I'll get at you later. I'm out.